Muscle tone and habits are exhibited in our posture and also in our yoga poses. So in the yoga, we talk about 3 types of students that you might see, or 3 types of holding patterns that you might see in your yoga students. And the first one is propping. And in propping, this is going to more relate to your persons who have a high normal tone. They're more the type A person who's very active. So you'll see them rigidly standing on the earth like a piece of furniture. If you look at this picture, you can notice this woman is pushing up against gravity, and it results in pushing out of the ground only. So when you begin to see this posture, you start to make some inquiries into what kind of breath might accompany this propping. So if you look at this picture, imagine what type of breath she might be exhibiting. Usually when I see someone like this, it would lead me to believe that their breath is not long and it's maybe a little bit constricted. And then what kind of practice, mind, might it associate with this kind of breath? So as you're practicing your yoga, if you're in this propping posture in all of your asanas, breath is not as long and slow. Your mind might be a little more tense, a little more preoccupied. You might be pushing yourself into the poses or being more competitive. So all those things start to come up when you start to notice someone who's propping in their yoga posture. On the other end of the spectrum is your student who is collapsing. And this would be someone who has more what we call the low normal muscle tone. They would have increased flexibility. Sometimes people who are dancers tend to go into this category. That's why they excelled at dance, because they were very flexible and open. Or it might be someone who's possibly less active in their life. They tend to drop the weight of the body into the earth without maintaining a connection through the structure that allows them to use gravity to their advantage. The structure sinks into the ground and can result in labored and shallow breathing. When it's just collapsing, she is using too much flexibility and not enough strength. So in this picture of this dog doing the downward facing dog, I think you can probably relate to seeing some students who push way into a downward dog and collapse throughout their spine. And they are very flexible, and downward dog is actually probably one of their favorite poses because they can push way into it and really get deep. But are they actually supporting that structure with muscle energy, or are they just falling into gravity? So one way we can look at how to identify collapsing is when a student is collapsing in the pose and you give his body a jolting push. Wherever his body collapses is where you'll locate the structural disconnection in the pose. So this young man standing here, he is standing in perhaps mountain pose. If you were to push him a little bit, you would probably find him collapsed in the low back. His knees would be pushed back. He would not be able to maintain his balance.